Welcome to Connecting Communities, a collaboration between people in Syracuse, New York, Bloomfield, New Jersey, and Makanda, South Africa. Connecting Communities provides people on both sides of the Atlantic Ocean an opportunity to learn more about one another through conversation, and to see, despite the 8,000 miles between us, we are more alike than we are different. This podcast is supported by the John Ben Snow Memorial Trust and Sanganisa Community Funds. For more information, go to inkululeko.org/podcast. Let's go.
Welcome to episode 2 of Connecting Communities, coming to you from Syracuse, the United States, at the Institute of Technology at Syracuse Central's media program. Today we have two of our superstar students. On our left we have
Darren Lucis, a junior at ITC.
And on our right we have
Ryan Sojewicz, also a junior at ITC.
All right, fantastic. So again, today's episode is on unpacking the Bill of Rights. So we're going to take a deep dive into fundamental rights, equality, dignity, and freedom. When you hear the words equality, dignity, and freedom, do you feel like these are protected by our Constitution in the United States? And why or why not?
Yes and no, because at first it was made only for a certain group of people, but as it progressed, as the world progressed, it became for everyone, but now it's kind of like fading and going back what it used to be.
And who was it for before, and what does it feel like it's going back to?
It was originally for white men, rich white men, and it's retreating back to that again.
What is the majority in our school? What is the majority makeup of our students here at Institute of Technology?
Middle class kids, not really wealthy families, but yeah.
All right. So within Institute of Technology at Syracuse Central, we have a program called Community-Wide Dialogue to End Racism, which, hearing its name, the effective goal is to try to promote anti-racism and to end racism. Darren, you've been taking a huge part in that this year. How has that been going? Has it been effective? Is it improving upon some of these values at a local level? And can you explain to me the school you connect with and what their school is like?
Yeah, so Community-Wide Dialogue to End Racism is a program where they combine two schools from different areas, Institute of Technology at Syracuse Central, and you have Tully High School, which is from a rural area, a town called Tully, and we combine and basically talk about the differences and why the differences are made between the schools. And is it effective? I would say no. Compared to certain years I've seen in the past, it has been effective, where plans have been put in place to change the way people see things, the community. But this year it hasn't really been effective, mostly because it's not the right people to put things in the plan. Like, it doesn't have people with the mindsets and
What mindset do you think you would need to make this program work? What values need to be instilled, do you think, in students taking part in this program?
I'd say lots of empathy. Empathy is the biggest one, because you have to be able to listen, because it's a dialogue. You also need to have just overall good mindset. That's the biggest thing, one of the biggest things, because without a good mindset, you can't really get far in the program.
You mentioned what an Institute of Technology student is like. What is the majority of Tully students, and just only 20 minutes here from Institute of Technology school?
Tully students, it's a majority of upper class white kids. It's very spread out. There's a lot of, I remember going past, there's lots of giant houses. The school is pretty big. They have their own field. 2 gyms.
And Tully is considered in this greater Syracuse area, so how does it feel to, travel just 15-20 minutes outside of Syracuse and see that huge discrepancy between what you see in the city of Syracuse and just outside of the city of Syracuse?
Well, there's certainly a lot more open space near Tully, and there's a lot, like what Darren was saying, the houses are big, there's a lot of money going into those areas, and over here not so much, a little poorer.
What is the demographic of the students as far as ethnicity? Majority of the students.
Majority of students, Caucasian. I've talked to a few. They said most of their families have like Italian, Irish-based families. There's like a small percentage of African American, smallest, and also a very small Asian percentage in the school also.
The students who represent the city of Syracuse from Institute of Technology, is that a diverse group?
It's a it's a very diverse group. It's a mix of a bunch of different kids from the school: Hispanics, natives, whites, blacks, Asians. It's just a giant group of kids.
Yep.
Basically the same mindset of what's going on in our school. Same beliefs of what's going on inside the school.
Yeah. So why is a program like this important, do you think, when you're in a school in Syracuse where you have all different walks of life working together and studying together?
I think it's good because it helps push past the stereotypes that we make about certain areas. Because usually the rural area, they think that once you get to the city, you're going to see, rats, crackheads every corner, very small houses, not good areas. Everyone's not a good person, and it's the opposite for what we used to think about out there in Tully.
So we're going to talk a little bit about the recent election. Now, neither of you were old enough to vote in this presidential election, were you? How old do you have to be to vote in the United States?
18.
18, okay. So you'll be able to vote in the next presidential election.
Yes.
Do you feel like you are excited and prepared to vote and have a voice?
Yes.
Okay. So on January, Donald Trump became the 47th president of the United States. And I just wanted to ask you, how well do you think he's upholding the Constitution and Bill of Rights that he swore an oath to do?
Not a very good job. I think that he's looking at the Constitution and the Bill of Rights and other things like that that America was built on. And even if back then they were built on his beliefs that he has now, they've began to transform and include other people, but now he wants to reverse it, and he's not upholding the views that they're supposed to be upholding very well.
Aaron, how do you feel about how he's doing?
I think basically he's throwing away the Constitution and Bill of Rights and just build it upon himself, reverting America even not all the way back, but like 1800 style with like immigrants problems, African American, like DEI that's going away, which sets us back even further. That reminds me of when kind of like segregation, kind of, because like basically now they don't have to allow you into a store or allow you to work a place. They don't have to hire you just because of your skin color.
You mentioned DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion. I don't hear them say that a lot. It's important to remember diversity, equity, and inclusion isn't just race, right? It's also, what else does that include?
Ethnicity, sexuality, yeah, gender,
disability.
yeah.
So it's very important to be inclusive, all right? So everyone has rights. So that's our last question here. What are your rights and responsibilities of an American citizen? Do you feel like you have rights and responsibilities with trying to do away with DEI or diversity, equity, and inclusion? Do you feel like you're losing some of those rights?
Yes.
Okay. I'm sorry to hear that. Do you feel comfortable sharing how that feels?
It feels kind of weird because as a kid I've always dreamed of doing certain things, but now it's kind of like I don't know if I'll be able to do these certain things because of management and the people running it might not want me there just because I'm there. So that's kind of scary for the future.
Ryan, how about you? How do you feel?
I think it's terrible. I haven't personally experienced it for myself, but I've seen it happen all around me, and I've seen it happen all across America and in the news and everything. And it's just, it shouldn't be what we're doing. This shouldn't be what America is or what it stands for.
I really thank you for sharing and being vulnerable during this session, this episode. Stay tuned, and Darren and Ryan will be back with more dialogue to connect with our learners from South Africa, from Makanda, South Africa. We look forward to it.